Good evening, this is Melissa. I'm here today to talk to you about BBY. This was a failed gap down that happened today. And here's the thing. I liked this morning. I was not concerned or scared about this from the previous day. However, let's go back and look at the day before. It was actually gap down the day before and I liked it. I had a nice little move, could have made 60 cents in it quick right away. Went back up and retested 19, no problem, because shorted in there and held it. And then it fell into the end of the day. It fell off a cliff at the end of the day, a reversal time, 2 o'clock. I walked away. I didn't trade the afternoon yesterday. I just didn't even go back and never even look at this yesterday afternoon. However, it reset up and had a nice drop off later in the day. 65 cents. Beautiful, beautiful trade into the end of the day. I knew it was lower when it did what it did yesterday. I didn't know if it would just hold there for the day and wait. The earnings came out today, but it dropped off into the end of the day. Now, here's the thing. This started to go yesterday. Fact. Gap down and then fell off into the end of trading. Ran out of day. Then what happened, we're going to look at some pre-market activity. This happened, and then this was this morning, okay, at 8 o'clock when the earnings came out. Fell off the cliff. The problem is, when this does this, and then it does this, and it did this, okay, you must expect that it probably is going to rally. You never know. Sometimes they're so weak they just keep going. But you have to not be afraid to take it if it rallies. Okay. Here's the thing. This didn't do anything wrong in the morning. I liked it. Liked it. Okay. It opened, went down, touched 1625 and bounced, and it never looked back. I'm going to show you what I did. I got stopped out of this today. The trade I took was valid, but it didn't work because the stock didn't work on the entire day. And let's just, really quick before I go over that, let's just look at this daily chart here. I mean, what it did today was pretty strong. I mean, there was actual buying in that bar today. There's no getting around it. Some of these gap down and are green on the day, and then they continue lower. My gut instinct looking at this now is that this actually is going to rally back here. I don't know. It may rally back only to here, or this may be, a turn for this thing. I don't know. I honestly don't know. You just have to wait and see. But this isn't lower tomorrow. This is real buying in here today. I also want to point out one important thing, which we can talk about more another day. Gaps do not fill. That is not a strategy. Gaps do not fill themselves. That is not a strategy. Don't expect every gap to fill itself. Yes, this did today, okay? It opened down here and ran up and filled this area from yesterday. This happens once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon this happens. This doesn't happen all the time, and this isn't a strategy. So don't go crazy thinking now this is going to work every time. It doesn't. Okay, this is once in a blue moon. In fact, this is really what it just did today. It went up and rallied into a resistance area. Didn't do a gap fill. It just rallied into a resistance area. And there was so much buying. People were shorting this, okay, and then they pushed through it, and then there was real buying that came in. The real buying came in the morning, and we're gonna go over that and what happened here. But this is actual real buying here now. This is gonna rally back. So it is what it is. Anyways, let's go look at the morning for this thing. Okay. You gotta have everything figured out, and you gotta take the play when you get it. You have to take the first trigger, because the first trigger, when it works, is the best entry. You're not going to get another one correctly at the same price. Sometimes you don't get another one at all right until an hour into the day, and that's not where you want to be. You must take the first entry every time you get it, and if it fails, it fails. Then you got to wait for the second one. The bottom line is, don't be scared to take the first one. That is the best one you can get, and they work most of the time, and you got to take them. Okay? When your gap analysis is correct. It's very important. When the gap analysis is correct, you take the first one. So what did this do? This open. Touchdown here, rallied, no big deal. Nothing scary about this setup. The entry, take it. Now, that being said, it did this topping tail. Okay, great. It's looking good. I lowered my stop over here. You don't give stuff room in the morning. No room. No, 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 no. The stop was over 75, but after it did this, I lowered my stop. Luckily, I did. Then it did this, and I killed it somewhere in here. I could see it wasn't going to work right there. Should not have done that. Let it rally again. Okay, fine. No big deal. No problem. Looks like it's resetting up again. Looks good. I took it again. Came in, was up money in this thing with some size. And then after the screen bar, I had to kill it again. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And then I was off of it right there. In fact, I posted it on Facebook. I said, no way. Not going to work today. And it didn't. Just didn't work on the rest of the day. And you just don't, there's nothing that you can do. They just don't work. You don't fight with them. Don't keep shorting this all day long. And you just say, forget it. Okay, it's not working right. And how did I know it wasn't working right by that time? I'll show you the 5-minute chart. It was the best indicator. This is where it had a chance to go, and it was looking really good, and it didn't do it. And once this didn't work, it was over. This green bar reversal of this red bar is bullish. This was where I was in my second entry, and it needed to come down here and squeeze this in again. And it maybe would have wiggled and jiggled and then dropped off. But it didn't, and it didn't reverse this, and it didn't do a sell setup, and it didn't come down to half this bar, and then it went over this bar, and then it went over the high of the day, and I said on Facebook that it was done. There's no intraday shorting in this after that. This wasn't going to work. There's no reason, it just didn't. Except, tonight I went back and I looked and I said, what the heck? 1625, where it bounced this morning, I said, there had to be a number. That was the lowest number, even there wasn't any pre-market. As great as this looked, and yes, it should have worked, but it didn't. Why? I'm going to show you a closer up look, but here it is. This bar back here, January 12th, this weekly bar, from 2001 is 1627 is the low. Let me make this bigger here. You're going to see it. This bar may not look like much, but it sure as heck is. Because you see what it's doing? There's a bottoming tail with a nice green head that's sat right on this 200, which is an uptrend right here. I know this is back a long time, but this is the kind of stuff you're going to learn in my class. The bottom line is this is why it didn't work right here. And this is why it's probably going to rally now, and I don't know. This thing may turn around, or it may just rally back a little bit, and it may eventually break this. But this was significant, and there's no getting around it. No getting around it. The way that this bar formed and where it's sitting right there. It's not down here, it's not up here, it's not over here. It's sitting right there. That's why it didn't work. So the bottom line is it's okay to take these and you have your bias, and sometimes they're just not going to work. If you lost money in this today, shorting it once or twice, it was a legitimate play. You don't critique yourself for it. You snag at these, you watch these, you study these, you learn from them, okay? But bottom line is some days they just won't work, okay? Without any explanation. I think I kind of found it right there, but the point is that some of these days they just won't work. But that's why you don't keep fighting with it all day. You don't keep shorting into every rally, because at a certain point, you know, you have to say to yourself, I don't want to short into an uptrend. That's silliness, okay? And you can see from this 15-minute, this is clearly like an uptrend here. So to short this after this is not wise. And you can see here what it did. At a certain point, it just gets too late in the day, and all of this is green. Okay? Unless you're a scalper, you don't short this. And I'm not a scalper. I play momentum moves. And the momentum in this today was green. It just was. That was it. real buying came into this at that bounce at that number, and I believe it was because of that area that I showed you back from 2001. Crazy as it sounds, it's a long, long time ago, but all these numbers mean something on the chart. We are day traders trading stocks intraday that are being held positions by people that have big money, and they don't get out in a day or a week or a month or a year. Some of these people are in these positions for a long time, and these numbers are watched by people, even if they happened however many years ago. Okay, we just ride the coattails of the big money, and the big money today decided this thing was going to hold itself at that little tail, okay, and it was going to hold itself where it was, and that was the decision, and be that as it may, I've had a huge push up today, and you just don't keep shorting into this. I just want to be clear about that. And hopefully we'll get something better tomorrow. We'll have to see. But for today, this one just didn't work, and I didn't do anything else today. There wasn't anything else good. There wasn't anything else good. This could have worked. I mean, it really could have worked. Even with this red bar here, this chart looked really nice to have a rally and then take it down, and it just didn't do it. And when I saw that number, then I thought, geez, I guess that's why it didn't do it, because clearly there's no ignoring what happened here today. This is not like SPLS, Stables. Let's go look at Stables. See what that's doing real quick. Yeah, see, this isn't the same. I mean, this was lower. I played this and made money in that day because I did it all the right places. But this is lower, and it was lower, and it's a bearish gap. This is different than what happened today than in BBY. I think BBY now is going to rally up on the daily chart, despite the fact it was a down gap. It failed. This isn't a failure, and I talked about that the other day in this video, but you see how this continues. The entry core short in it was this day. This is not a core short entry here. Does everyone understand that? Very important. But you can't really go long in this here because the chart hasn't shown itself to actually prove that it's actually going to turn into an uptrend. It's not in an uptrend. And this is not a bullish gap. It was a bearish gap that failed on the day. That's what this is. Okay? So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks, and have a great night.